It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. Important question. Have you just finished high school or maybe recently graduated from tertiary education? Or are people already putting those expectations of you? Have you figured it all out yet? What are you going to do with the rest of your life? What are you going to be when you're all grown up? I know these are really difficult questions to broach pretty much for the rest of your life. And we all get tossed into the world where there are endless opportunities and job descriptions that change almost daily, now more than ever, in fact. So how can we ensure that we make the best decisions for ourselves now when we don't know what we're going to be and where we are going to go? Well, today we're going to discuss bridging that gap between high school, tertiary education, if that's your choice, and of course, careers. And our panel consists of some amazing people. The head of operations at Future Me, someone who is very special to me, Jody Sylvester, who went and put on a leather jacket because she knew Francois Van Coker's here as well. And we've got the managing director of Optimi Workplace, Jackie Carroll, a specialist in this space. And then our featured artist this morning, none other than our brother from another mother, Francois Van Coke. He's also joining us to share some advice because you've created a little empire, Guy. So congratulations. Welcome to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. Yes.
This is probably the most important conversation we can have in a South African context right now. There are so many. We've got probably the most alarming, Jack, you would know this, alarming unemployment numbers when it comes to youth in the world. But I'm finding we've got the most hungry, enthusiastic, motivated and talented young people in the world who have that edge. We just need to somehow connect the dots. Jody, you've made it your life purpose to help to connect those dots. What is the big stumbling block here? When you get up in the morning, what makes you go, okay, we can do this? What are some of the challenges that you are facing in the space and the work that you do?
I think it is a little bit of encouragement, motivation. We live in a world that is quite challenging, and to get up and face a world that needs you, and also sometimes you also have that lack of support or guidance, but you need that 100% support around you as much as possible.
And it's not there often in the community.
No,
often
it's not.
Not there in the home where you need it, where everyone is just trying to survive. So you need to go out and find your tribe. Now, when looking for the people to connect around us, we need to have a vision of where we're going. What was your vision, Francois, when you first started? Because it wasn't always, music I know was there, but what was the vision that was put on you by your folks in society, and what was the original plan?
Yeah, when I was in school in the 90s, I think it was kind of taboo to think that you're going to make a career from playing music.
Yeah,
so that
anything other than the set professional
You know,
careers.
I wanted to be a rugby player, but I think I left that dream behind. But I mean, music was kind of taboo to choose that as a career path. So I never thought that I would be able to do it as a career. I was just passionate about it, and I did it, and I think that's kind of important. If people are following their passion, it really helps. And to me, it kind of became a reality only when I was about 23, when I started my first project that had kind of some success. I realized I can actually make music for a living.
And did you need that? Did you need to have a success under the belt to say, okay, this is viable?
Yes.
Or was there another tipping point moment that said, okay, I need to follow my heart?
Yeah, I think there was a tipping moment before that. You know, we started this band called Fokhof Polisiecar, and I think when we started to write those songs, we really felt that it's something special, you know, something that people were kind of looking for. Our friends kind of connected with it before you know, the rest of the country connected to it. And I think that moment was like, yeah, we can actually do this.
You found your calling, dude, because you did. You effectively started a movement, and that's a word that keeps coming to me now, because when we base our decisions on the company that we want to work for, the job that we want to take, the career that we want to choose, it's no longer just, I have this skill set, how can I match that? There needs to be a deeper resonance. Why? Because we change our job up to 7 times in our lives.
Up to 7 times.
Why? So why do we even try to choose one career path if we know we're going to constantly be shifting?
Well, people need to pivot their career, whether it's finding another career per se or changing their jobs. People pivot for a few reasons, but mainly it's for development. It's for career opportunity to develop as a career. It's for maybe you need more money, maybe it's a management position, but all of it has to be sustained with skills and ongoing education. And people need to invest in themselves and companies invest in their staff so that people can pivot in the right direction. Sometimes also what happens right from the start is when we're at school, we're not necessarily given the correct career counselling. So you go out there thinking, and this is a personal experience, I watched all those wonderful, wonderful movies, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I thought archaeology was great.
For sure, yeah.
And I didn't actually understand that I was going to have to dig in a sandpit and sift
And studying
things.
history for 9 years,
The
yeah.
history part was fine, but the actual sifting and so you didn't have your expectation and what you actually imagine of
apart, yeah.
completely worlds apart. Yes,
Here's the joy is that you can find your tribe now, and companies are starting to understand
Absolutely.
that they do need to invest in their employees, and if they want to keep someone in their structure, they need to give them something that matches them, their fit, and that's what we're looking for. We want you to find your fit, and if you join me, I promise you, on the 15th of this month at the Grand West Arena at the World of Work, I will introduce you to prospective employees and help you find your fit. You'll also find your tribe, an incredible group of young people that are doing amazing things. We're going to continue this discussion. Please share your thoughts with us. 0634088863. Have you had any epic fails, major successes in a job interview? We'd love to hear from you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we dive back into a vitally important conversation right now. A little bit earlier, we focused on some of the issues young people are facing at the moment as they try to bridge that gap between possibly school or their tertiary education and the world of work. But the older population also face numerous challenges in upskilling themselves for the working world because it's evolving at such a rapid pace. And right now, we're going to delve a little bit deeper into how that world of work is evolving with this amazing panel. We've got the head of operations at Future Me, an amazing organization, Jody Sylvester, as well as managing director of OptiMe Workplace, Jackie Carroll. And then completing our panel is our featured artist, Francois Van Cote. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I like the fact that we're all coming from very different angles, yet we've all arrived at the same place because it is kind of a tipping point moment, to use that phrase again, for the country, because if we don't get a handle on unemployment, it's going to have a massive knock-on effect for our economy, and well, it already is. We asked you guys to weigh in, and you have, so let's hear the first of those voice notes this morning. What do you have to say?
Good morning, Expresso family. Seeing the Alford here from Port Elizabeth. I'm not actually satisfied with my subjects, but this wasn't a choice. I'm studying civil engineering. I'm not struggling with my subjects, only mathematics. I've been struggling with now for the past 3 years, but I know I'll be successful one day. Thank you.
In it for the long haul. Let's squeeze in another one.
Expresso team, it's Mini here. Yes, I am very much satisfied with my subjects. I am in love with science, with how the world works, and I was inspired by Albert Einstein and all the other great physicists out there. So, heck yeah, I am very much satisfied with my subject choices, and I just can't wait for what the future has in store for me, and I'm doing my senior year.
So we're okay then, hey? Surely we're all right. If we've got young people that are that motivated, that bright, that interested in STEAM, they are that focused on all the right things, we should be okay. What's gone wrong? What is the major stumbling block here? Because I know it's a dynamic situation, but something has led to us having the unbelievably high numbers of unemployment. What is that major barrier?
well, definitely our economy is shrinking, so that's the obvious one. The smaller the economy, the less jobs
Are available,
the less jobs that are available. Also, for first-time workers, so graduates or people fresh out of school that are looking for jobs, people don't really find jobs through advertisements. I mean, let's be very honest. It's because somebody knew somebody.
Network.
It's networking. And these kids don't have that yet. So it's really incumbent on us as parents, on us as society, on us as like your YES program, like your Harambee program, where we try and create social networks that these children can get opportunities, or not children, graduates can get opportunities in order to get into a job. But I think what we also need to accept is that the skill sets required for the world of work going forward is very different from what it was, and it's evolving at a faster pace than most people can catch up with. So you've got to continually, I come back to it, and that's what we do at OptiMe, it's lifelong learning. You've got to keep upskilling yourself so that you can pivot into what career opportunity
next phase is, yeah.
and what the next phase is.
And maybe, Joe, it's often we talk about seasons. I think when we try and wrap our head around our own situation in that workplace, I think one of the biggest wake-up calls and exercises and privileges when I had to sit with you guys and we were interviewing kids from Constantia and kids from the Cape Flats. And the difference in life experience. And most of those 14-year-old kids coming from that side of the world already had their first job. They were already job shadowing at dad's accountancy firm, whatever, they were sorted. We live in an era where digital is starting to erase that imbalance. You can be anywhere in the world, you can talk to anyone in the world if you have the right skills. So as we try to speed this up in this new digital framework, in this wonderful new world of work, what are some of those hard and soft skills that you guys focus on to give kids the right tools when they enter, when they make that first foray into the workplace?
Communication skills, emotion intelligence, and most importantly, adaptability. You have to be adaptable. Future Me went from face-to-face events to digital, so we had to adapt. We had to reach learners and youth nationally, and we worked around it. We made it happen, and we're here now. And I mean, the digital space it can be daunting. Lots to learn, but I think the most important thing is to be adaptable.
And you do need it, and you find it even in our ripe old age, you get to a point in your career where you think you've got it all figured out, and then something like COVID happens. But whether you're an entrepreneur at heart and need to find that calling, or maybe an organization that has an entrepreneurial spirit, there is a way that you can find your fit. We're going to chat to Francois about his entrepreneurial journey and the empire that he is creating and some of those major stumbling blocks he found along the way in just a moment. Keep the voice notes coming, 063 408 8863. We'd love to hear from you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we continue our discussion broaching the world of work, and a big thank you and a welcome back to Jody, Jackie and Francois, our expert panel this morning. Why? Because we're all out there working on the frontier, and of course we'd love for you to continue that conversation online. 063 408 8863 is the WhatsApp line to use, or let us know on any of our social media platforms. Had you had any epic fails, success stories as you've broached the world of work? Francois, I want to start with you because I like this notion of finding your fit, because you're constantly going to be looking for that. You seem to have created your fit. I look at your personality, and all the cool things that you do are such an expression of the kind of man that you are, and so authentic. How have you been able to do that, dude? Was it a conscious thing, or was this just a manifestation of just being yourself? How have you arrived at this point, and what's been your biggest challenge to build this Francois brand?
Yeah, that's quite an intense question.
I think 6:45 in the morning, yeah.
You know, for me, obviously, my passion is making music, and I had to make music in South Africa in a small market, especially Afrikaans rock. I had to do more than just make music, and I never imagined that I would become a businessman. You know, when you start playing music, you think like you're gonna sound check and play shows, but to actually make the music, you need to do so much other things so that you can do what you want to do. So, you know, a lot of the other things that I do, brand extensions, I guess, is things that happened organically, you know, without me really planning them, just kind of things that fell into place over the years, but it kind of set me up to still be able to make music on my own terms.
What is the key thing here? What's been the most important factor for you? Is it that authenticity, the fact that you won't bend in terms of who you are and who you represent, Belleville? What is it? What is that X factor that you have, do you think?
Yes, man, I think for me, I like to be honest in the kind of work that I do. It's I think that's important to me, to be honest in the songs that I write. It's just the kind of stuff that I like, and I hope that translates to everything else that I do.
It's authenticity, brother. You can only be who you are, and I love that. Jody, you've only got to like save the whole country now. So how are we going to do this, girl? Now, Future Me have introduced me to some phenomenal young people who are doing it and have given me hope. What do we need to focus on here? What projects and opportunities are available at Future Me that can help young people bridge that gap, or at least to help wrap their head around the next step? I don't think we should look at 5 steps. What's just the next step? What do you recommend in terms of what you guys are doing?
So one of the many digital programs that we run, which is the Game Changer Challenge, sponsored by Johnson & Johnson.
Love that.
We don't have enough time to kind of go into it, but if you want to find out more, you can go onto our Instagram platform and all the information will be on there. And then a wonderful opportunity is for young people to come to Sun Exhibits Grand West next week, the 15th of September, on Thursday, face-to-face World of Work Festival, where companies will bring their businesses to life. It's going to be vibey, it's going to be fun, and it will be a wonderful opportunity, not only for the learners from schools, but for graduates, post-matrics, and parents as well, to come and experience that.
Yeah, anyone looking to pivot. I love it. I got a whole lot of connections. The last one I was involved in hosting, but we got 150, I think, job shadowing placements just on that day.
Wow.
The power of strategic network.
Yes.
And it's also a safe place where I can help you kind of work on your game, on how to ask that first question, how to deal with failure, those sorts of things. Maybe, Jackie, I can round off with you. From a parent's perspective, or from a young person who's having to play that kind of self-parental role like so many young people are, what is that question I need to ask myself when thinking about that first step into the foray of the world of work? What should I be considering, do you think?
I think people need to open themselves to a variety or accept any kind of opportunity. Not go there and say, I'm only going to take a job when I get this job.
Yeah.
You don't get another job unless you're employed already. So you've got to take that first opportunity and say, open yourself to it. It's a learning experience. It's part of the journey. And I think if people are more receptive to that, then the more flexible, the more adaptable, the more you're going to go places.
Completely. You know, the bizarre thing is, in my line of work, in my career, the one thing that has gotten me more work than anything else, be nice to people. Just be nice to people. It sounds ridiculous.
That helps.
Be nice to security guards, because he might be the guy who needs to let you in when you're running late for work and your whole job depends on that. Just be nice to absolutely everybody you connect with. Ask questions. Tell people about what you want to do. Create that network around you. I know that it feels like you might not have those support structures, but there are so many people on so many levels of life and so many different industries that want to help you succeed. But we need to know who you are. So put your hand up. If you can, come and join us at the World of Work at the Grand West Arena next week on the 15th. I'll be there to help facilitate those connections. I want to get 300 job placements this year. We can do it. It's a safe place where you can connect with some amazing companies and find your fit. And then maybe, just maybe one day, you can be a rock star like Jody. I love it.
Great.